Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. PTSD and complex PTSD, strategies for healing. The essence of trauma is that it overwhelms the person with terror and powerlessness to the point that they have ongoing trauma symptoms for more than a month, usually for years if left untreated. PTSD is rampant in our world today, from the trauma of abusive relationships, childhood abuse, to the damage done by war or even being a first responder. The video previous to this one discusses the diagnosis in detail to see if you or someone you care about may have PTSD or complex PTSD. This video will share some coping strategies to help you heal. Ideally, you want to get a therapist of your own for this journey, and I recommend EMDR and the site emdria.org to help you find one near you. In addition, here are some insights and strategies that'll help you on your journey to recovery. First of all, it's crucial to recognize that the damage done to your central nervous system from the flood of adrenaline through your system is physical, and it needs some physical attention to help you heal. That rush of adrenaline is beyond what your body and brain can handle, and this is what leads to the ongoing symptoms, including hypervigilance, startle response, reactivity, even irritability and other symptoms. There's a chemical called cortisol that builds up in your brain from this overload of adrenaline. This cortisol makes you feel agitated, hyperreactive, and exhausted but unable to sleep. Correcting this imbalance takes some work and some time. Studies have actually shown that exercise, stretching, yoga, all these kinds of things are really great at stimulating endorphins that decrease the cortisol. Not only that, but these activities really help you feel more powerful and in control of your body again. This is super healing, as the experience of powerlessness in part is what defines that experience of trauma. The runner's high, as we call it, helps decrease the cortisol while replacing it with endorphins, GABA, and other positive neurotransmitters. The other group of strategies that help improve your brain chemistry include all the self-calming techniques. Mindfulness, prayer, meditation, and all other forms of self-calming have been scientifically shown to replenish serotonin, endorphin, and other positive brain chemistry, so while decreasing that cortisol buildup. So often people sort of take a yeah, you sound like my mother approach to these suggestions. Please don't neglect these strategies. Don't think that therapy alone is going to resolve these emotions. Without the repair of the brain chemistry, the trauma literally takes on a life of its own in your central nervous system, and all the talk therapy in the world will not change those very physiological responses. Number 2, talk about it. So talk about it with someone safe and strong. Ideally, this is a therapist, but I know not everyone can access therapy. That's actually why I do these videos. So it can be done with one of the hotlines. There's a suicide hotline, a warm line, which means you're not contemplating suicide, but you really need to talk. There's also a sexual assault hotline. Or it can be a family member or friend. But if you choose a family member or friend, it has to be someone you trust in several ways. They need to be trustworthy not to tell anyone what you said or how you said it. They also need to be strong enough to hear it, which means they'll not freak out or fall apart, leaving you to support them. They need to be able to just be there, hold space, not feel they have to find solutions or get into fix-it mode. Just be there, listen, and let you have anything that you need in that experience. Talking about it gets it outside of you, and it helps you to see it in the light of day. When you don't talk about it, it lives inside you and grows bigger and uglier in the dark. Bringing it out in the light with someone you trust listening, you can often start to sort through the rubble. You get the intense energy outside of your body, and you see, reflected in your friend or the hotline worker, that this was not your fault, that you survived, and that you will restore yourself and feel better over time. Number 3, as you calm down the brain chemistry and the central nervous system and you start to sort out what happened, you'll also need to sort through the trauma cognitions, or the story. It's not just what happens to us, but it's how we internalize it that keeps us upset for so long. This is why people who are randomly assaulted often recover more quickly than those who are abused by someone they knew, by a family member, a friend, or a spouse, or significant other, or even an acquaintance on a date rate. It seems to keep it clearer in our heads that we are and we're more able to see it as a random event. We don't internalize as much shame. Shame is one of the primary internalized stories that we get stuck in. These stories are that internal voice that tells you this was your fault, or gives you the message that you can never trust anyone again, or the belief that you were bad, wrong, stupid, or that you were too badly damaged to ever be okay again. As you sort through these beliefs that you're internalizing, it's crucial to find the truths. This will likely help and will be also some of the most difficult work of your healing. As you sort this out, one overriding truth that I hope you land on and really stay focused on is that feelings are not facts. I can feel bad, wrong, or stupid, or even at fault, even damaged beyond repair, but also I can recognize in my wise mind that those are not facts. I can feel intense shame while beginning to know in my mind that I'm not to blame for someone else's bad actions. I can feel like I'll never be whole again, while I kind of know that others have gone through horrible experiences, lived through them, and they start to feel better. I can even feel like killing myself and begin to know that I don't have to die over this horrible experience. Not only are feelings not facts, but feelings are temporary. They're intense, they're even overwhelming, but they do pass. They may feel so overwhelming at times you believe you can't get through them, and you can't tolerate them, and they will never stop. But this is a feeling, not a fact. And the truth is, these too shall pass. One of the most crucial truths to fix in your mind is that you have already survived the trauma. Whatever you did to survive, whatever you went through to survive, you survived. When you put this together with the other two truths, that feelings are not facts and they will pass, you start to have the path forward. Some other truths might be, yes, something horrible happened to me and I feel like I'll never be okay, but I'm strong, I'm capable. I hear other stories and I know they're okay. And even though I don't feel like it right now, I will be okay again. Some things not to do. Don't spend too much time on the internet reading other people's trauma stories or dwelling on the trauma. You need to do the work and then get back to living your life. When I do a piece of intense trauma work with a client, I encourage them to leave it all in my office and focus on other things throughout the week until I see them again. If you're doing this journey on your own, try to create this sense of work and rest, taking a break from it for significant amounts of time. Recognize that anger is an important part of your healing. When you see and hear yourself getting really angry, this is you taking your power back, taking your body back, taking your life back from whatever temporarily stole it. When you're assaulted and you feel powerless, you feel your body betrayed you, or you didn't rally enough to fight the person off. For many reasons, we feel really at odds with ourselves. Anger is yourself taking yourself back. So talk about your anger with your safe person or the hotline, or vent it out on paper in a journal, or scream it out, cry it out, whatever you need to do. Try not to let it leak out at others who had nothing to do with it. When we don't embrace our anger directly, we tend to leak it out at the people around us. So those closest to us usually get that irritability, frustration, the snippy, snarky remarks, and we start to destroy our support system. Vent it out and embrace it in its power, but don't let it take over your being with passive-aggressive attitudes or bitterness. Your anger is you reestablishing your boundaries. This is also a really good thing. Sometimes someone who has been victimized takes on an attitude of complete passivity, and this leads to despair and depression. Let your anger help you reestablish boundaries and ownership of your life, your body, your assertiveness. You don't want to become aggressive or passive or even passive-aggressive. You want to assertively reclaim your life. Next, push yourself to reclaim all aspects of your life. Don't let any of the stories keep you stuck. Do the things and go the places you want to go. And if you see yourself isolating, push yourself to get out and with safe people, doing the things you used to love. It's crucial you don't let yourself isolate. Again, the ugliness grows in the dark, so bring yourself out into the light of day, the light of others' love, and the light of the goodness in the world. If you stay alone, isolated, you'll only dwell in the darkness that happened to you. And you will begin to believe that this is all there is in the world. That's not so. Get back into your life. So in summary, take back your brain chemistry, your body, your mind, your boundaries, and your life. You can heal from trauma. You don't have to stay stuck in the ugliness. If you've appreciated this video, please share it on your social media and subscribe to the channel. You never know when your sharing might help someone else heal. Take really good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.